guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Elaine, and today we are cooking. So this is the Let's Cook with Elaine segment, and here's the special guest. We have some steak here that we're gonna put right in the Instant Pot. Okay, we got some boneless chuck steak, and I'm just gonna add some pepper. I'm going to get a ground. I love ground pepper. I don't know about you guys, but right now I'm just going to use what I have. This is basically getting my dinner going. Steakhouse seasoning. I would love to have marinated it, but since I didn't, that doesn't mean you can't cook. So we're going to put a lot of this on the steakhouse. Anyway, and a little bit of garlic. You guys see that? And I'm a little bit of seasoning, so not much. Not much, just a little bit. Then I'm gonna turn them over. Because I love, when I season my meat, I love both sides. And the problem with me is when I cook without seasoning, it makes me feel like I gotta keep adding more seasoning than I actually have to. Okay, so there's your seasoning. So just a little bit. There's your steakhouse. I'm gonna need more of this because we do cook steak. Not that we eat a lot of red meat, but when we do, we like to use that steakhouse seasoning. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna turn on the saute button on the Instant Pot. It's already plugged in. There's your saute button. It's on normal. Normal's fine for this. It's not gonna hurt it. We're gonna let it heat up. And while we're waiting for it to heat up, I melted some butter to save us a little bit of time. Okay, I've melted the butter, pre-melted the butter in the microwave. The saute button is on, and now we are pouring the melted butter in the Instant Pot, and not all of it, just about half or 3/4 of the way. And now we're going to begin to sear the steaks, and remember these are boneless chuck, and also it's 3 of them that we could fit in there. This one particular searing time is because they're not very big. They are like strips to me. So I decided that I would just sear them for about a minute and a half, maybe a little bit more than a minute and a half. I'm not really sure exactly. I was going for 2 minutes and a half, but I felt that that might be too much. Searing on normal, and that smell is so amazing. I just wish you guys could smell it. It's just smelling very good, even in the searing stages. So you can only imagine how it's going to be as we get to the actual cooking process and cooking time. Just checking it to see if it's browning well on that side, which it is, and it's time to flip them over. You flip them over and give them identical time. I'd say a little bit more than a minute and a half on that side, and let those seasonings and that butter all merge. Oh, look at that. That looks really good and smells awesome. So now we are finishing up the saute process and allowing them to cook for that minute and some change. I'm really not sure if I actually went like a minute and a half, or maybe a little bit more, but it's well worth it to judge it for yourself. It's not burning or anything, it's just searing. And I usually don't do it very long, especially with steak, because you can overcook a steak very easily. So just lifting it up and checking the bottom is a good idea every once in a while. Okay, so I'm satisfied with the way they feel, the way they look, and definitely the way they smell. So now I'm removing them, and as you can see, that's why you don't want to overcook them, because they'll begin to break apart. These are very They're just like strips, like steak strips. And I still have 2 more pieces that I want to sear before, the entire process is over. It's going to be the same amount of time, the same amount of seasonings, and just allow that to merge together. And that's where the awesomeness is going to come in. And you give them a little bit of space so that they're not on top of each other. They should be laying flat. There's that smell again. I hope you guys can smell that because it's amazing. And this Instant Pot cooking just saves so much time because instead of you searing it on the stove or then turn around and putting it in the oven or however, it just saves a little bit of time, which is important to a lot of us. All right, well, we've had our time satisfactory on both sides, 1.5 minutes or better. And now we're going to pour in a cup of water right on the bottom, and you're going to be scraping the bottom. It's a good way to clean the bottom so that way you don't have to worry about getting a burn notice, but you have to go through this process now rather than having it stop cooking and have a burn notice. So you're just scraping the bottom, scrape it clean, and then you can continue your process. Yeah. Because as I said, it's on the trivet. I don't really have a problem cooking all 5 of these at one time. Okay, I believe. Oh, hold on, guys, because this one started falling apart. That's why I stopped searing so long. Oh my goodness. Pour that little bit of juice in there. Next, I'm gonna add some onions, just right on top. Okay, just a few. And now we are ready. We're gonna put this on. That was my timer. Okay. So now, let's see what we got. Line it up. Then you're gonna go from venting to sealing. Make sure that it's closed or you've just wasted a bunch of time. You're gonna cut off your saute button. Let's see if you can see it. You cut off this. Mine has a manual right here, and we're gonna give it let's just say 7 minutes. I can't see it. It doesn't really matter what it says on here because I'm going to use my phone as the 7-minute timer because it takes sometimes 7 minutes for this to, it takes 7 minutes for it actually to pressurize. But since it's steak, it will overcook. So I'm going to use my phone and we're going to put it on 7 minutes. I should do 6. I think I'll do 7 minutes. Okay? Starting now. Okay, guys, I let the water out, the steam out. You're going to go from sealing to venting, and when that pen drops, that little silver pen, then it's safe to open it, and everything smells really good. Let's see what we're looking at here. Now, I actually only did it for 6 minutes because some people in my family like it a little bit more rare or like a medium, and some of us don't. So the ones you cooked, most of these look like they're more well than medium, which is fine. You're just going to collect your onions. And then some people might like them raw, but these are translucent. I want you guys to see that. Yeah. I want you guys to see that. And then I still have a little bit of melted butter, which started getting cold, but we're just gonna drizzle it right on top. Just like so. Just to give it a little topping. Hey. And that's it. Next we're gonna do something to go with it. But for right now, that's it. See how easy that was? Peace.